You ever stop and realize that the most important voice you'll hear today is your own, not your boss, not your critics, not the news, not the noise, you, because what you say to yourself, that's the script you're rehearsing for your life. See, words got weight, they carry energy, they carry intention, they shape how you walk into a room, how you face a challenge, how you love, how you fight, and how you rise. When you wake up and you tell yourself, I can't, I'm not enough, I'm tired of this, you start living like those words are true. You shrink, you settle, you stop showing up. But when you speak life, when you tell yourself, I got this, I was made for more, I'm still here and that means something, then something starts to shift, not just in your mind, but in your spirit, in your walk, in the way you look folks in the eye. I've seen men with millions in the bank feel like failures, and I've seen a single mom with nothing but faith and 2 jobs walk like a queen because of how she spoke to herself. You see where I'm going with this? The battlefield is the mind, the weapons, words, and every morning before the world tries to define you, you better start defining yourself, because the truth is, if you don't program your mind, somebody else will, and most of them ain't programming you for greatness. They're programming you for average, for fear, for comfort. That's why speaking to yourself ain't corny, it's critical. It's how you remember who you are. When life tries to make you forget, so you wake up tomorrow, and I mean really wake up, and you take control of the conversation in your head, because the words you choose, that's the world you build, and I don't know about you, but I'm building something great. Something that lasts, and it starts with what I say before I do anything else. Every single day starts with a choice. You might not control the weather, or the traffic, or what kind of news hits your phone before breakfast, but you do control how you enter the day. And I'm telling you, how you start sets the tone for everything that follows. You ever seen a runner before a race? Watch them. Before they even touch the starting line, they're already breathing like champions. Shoulders back, eyes locked. They're speaking to themselves. Maybe not out loud, but you can see it in their body. Let's go, you've trained for this, you're ready. That's not arrogance, that's alignment. That's setting intention before motion. Now imagine if you rolled out of bed tomorrow and just let the day hit you without saying anything to yourself. You scroll your phone, you check your messages. Maybe the weight of the world's already crashing down on you before you've even had your coffee. But what if instead you paused, took a breath, and spoke 5 deliberate, focused, powerful lines into the mirror? That's not routine, that's ritual, because starting your day with purpose is like putting armor on your spirit. It's telling the day, I'm not here to survive you. I'm here to meet you with fire. This is about declaring who you are before the world tells you who it thinks you should be. It's about aligning your words with your mission every single morning. And trust me, when you begin the day from a place of purpose, not panic, your decisions change, your posture changes, the way you talk to people, handle pressure, face setbacks. It all shifts that first moment of the morning. That's your ground zero. Speak with purpose, and you launch like a rocket. Stay silent, or worse, speak fear, and you're flying blind. I'm not talking about magic. I'm talking about discipline, about doing the work internally, before the world starts asking you to show up externally. Because when you step into the day with direction, with vision, with intention, you don't just go through the day, you lead it, and leadership, my friend, starts with how you lead yourself. Let me give it to you straight. These 5 lines you speak to yourself every morning, they ain't just words. They're not some cute motivational quotes you toss around for show. These are commands. These are reminders. These are truths you embed into your spirit before the world has a chance to whisper lies into your ears. You don't wait for the world to encourage you. You become your own source of fuel. You stand in front of that mirror, bare face, raw heart, and you speak power into your bones. You remind yourself of what's real. And you do it every day, not when it's convenient, every day, especially when it's hard. Here they are. I am alive, and that means I have a purpose today. That's number 1, simple, but do not overlook it. If you woke up, that means something. Somebody somewhere didn't. That breath in your lungs, that heartbeat, that's evidence you're not done yet. You got a mission, big or small, might be to lead, might be to listen. might be to just keep going, but purpose, it lives in action. I am strong, stronger than what tried to break me yesterday. You hear me? That thing you thought would take you out. It didn't. That doubt, that failure, that heartbreak, it hit you, but you're still standing. That's not weakness, that's resilience. You carry scars, not shame. You wear your struggle like armor, not baggage. I am grateful for breath, for battles, for both the sunshine and the storms. Because gratitude shifts everything. It's not just about the good days. It's about seeing the lesson in the pain, the beauty in the fight. When you start your morning with thankfulness, even the tough stuff looks different. You stop complaining. You start seeing, I will grow today. I will become better than I was yesterday. Progress over perfection. 1 inch forward is still movement. You don't have to leap every day, but you do have to lean in. Learn, stretch, take that step even if it's small. Growth ain't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, but it's consistent. I am destined for greatness, not comfort, not ease, but impact. You weren't made for the sidelines. You weren't built just to coast. There's something in you the world needs. Greatness ain't about being famous. It's about being faithful to the gifts inside you. It's about showing up when it's hard, speaking up when it's scary, and standing tall even when you feel low. So every morning you recite these 5 lines like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your focus depends on it. Your strength depends on it. Your peace, your grind, your confidence. They all start here. This ain't a wish list. This is who you are. And if you say it enough, live it enough, the world starts to believe it too. I've been through storms. You hear me? Not the kind you see in the sky, but the kind that hit your soul. The kind where everything feels like it's falling apart. Your plans, your peace, your confidence. Those nights where you lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you're enough. Wondering if this fight you're in is ever gonna end. But let me tell you something I learned, not in the spotlight, not with applause ringing in my ears, but in the silence. When I was low, when I was tired, when I felt forgotten. That the difference between staying down and standing up is mindset. See, you can't always control what life throws at you. You can't predict the loss, the rejection, the betrayal, the setbacks, but you can control how you respond. And that response, it starts within. It starts with the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. I remember a time, fresh in this business, broke, hungry, doors slammed in my face. Every audition felt like a reminder of what I wasn't. And I'll be honest, there were days I didn't want to get out of bed. Days I questioned my path. Days I looked in the mirror and didn't see anything special. But one morning I stopped waiting on someone else to lift me up. I stopped waiting on approval, on recognition, on a break. I stood in front of that mirror and I said, "You're still here. You're still breathing. That means something. Now act like it." That moment changed me. I didn't suddenly become successful. I became solid. I became unshakable in my belief even when everything around me was uncertain. That's what this is about. Speaking truth to yourself when the world is silent. Declaring strength when your circumstances whisper weakness. Choosing growth when it'd be easier to give up. I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm telling you it's essential, because if you wait for motivation, you'll stay stuck. If you wait for clarity, you'll miss the calling. And if you wait for confidence, you'll sit on the sidelines of your own life. You've got to build it, brick by brick, word by word. That's why this practice, these 5 lines, ain't just motivation. It's transformation. It's how you rise from struggle. It's how you turn pain into purpose. Every scar you carry, that's a line in your story, but it doesn't end there unless you let it. Speak life, speak strength. Speak vision, not because it's easy, because it's necessary, because every time you do, you're rewiring your mind, you're conditioning your spirit, you're planting seeds that grow even when everything else around you feels barren. And one day you'll look back, not and say, "That was the end of me," but "That was the beginning of my rise." So now we come to it, the moment where all the words, all the mornings, all the declarations lead to a single question: what are you going to do about it? You can't just say these lines and expect magic to fall from the sky. No, you got to walk them out. You gotta take those words and put them in your stride, in your choices, in the way you show up when nobody's clapping. You say, I am destined for greatness. That's not a cute phrase, that's a charge. That means you don't settle. You don't shrink when life gets loud. You don't run from the pressure. You rise to it. You were never meant to play small. You were never built for just surviving. You were made to impact, and greatness, it ain't comfortable. It don't come with a map or a guarantee. It's forged in silence, in sweat, in sacrifice. You think greatness is found on the stage. Nah, it's built in the grind, when you wake up early, when you stay late, when you push yourself to do the hard thing again and again and again. Not because someone's watching, but because you refuse to betray your own potential. You want to know the real truth. Most people won't do it. Most people will hear those 5 lines, nod their heads, maybe even repeat them once or twice, and then slide right back into old habits, old fears, old limits. But not you, not if you're serious, not if you know in your gut that you were made for more, and more doesn't mean fame, it doesn't mean money, it doesn't even mean approval, it means impact. It means when you walk into a room, something shifts. When you speak, people lean in. When you move, you leave a mark, not because you're loud, but because you're authentic, you're grounded, you're clear, you're driven. So the call is this: speak those 5 lines, yes, but then live them. Let them change how you walk into every meeting, every conversation, every battle. Let them guide how you treat people, how you treat yourself. Let them be the reason you keep going when everything in you wants to stop. Because greatness isn't just what you achieve, it's what you become, and every morning when you speak those words, you are not just reminding yourself, you are becoming yourself, brick by brick, word by word. Day by day, now go, and build the life those 5 lines promised you. So here we are. You've heard the 5 lines, you've felt the weight of the words, you've walked with me through the storms, the silence, the struggle, and the strength. But I'll tell you this, words without action, that's just noise. So the question ain't can you speak these lines, it's will you? Will you speak life over yourself when no one else does? Will you claim your strength before the world tries to define your weakness? Will you remind yourself every single morning who you are, what you carry, and where you're going? Because if you will, if you speak these 5 lines with your chest, with your heart, with your whole being, then I promise you, your days will start to change. And when your days change, your life changes. It doesn't take perfection, it takes intention. So tomorrow morning, before you pick up your phone, before the noise of the world gets loud, look in the mirror, stand tall, and say the 5. Say them like they matter. Say them like your future depends on them, because it does. Now go live it, not just with your words, but with your walk. Your greatness is waiting. Don't keep it waiting long.